Hi, everybody. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about coaching and why I got into it. Many of you know the Coles Notes version of this story, but I really wanted to delve a little bit deeper because the roots of why I went into coaching really start a lot earlier when I was a child. As a child, I was extremely sensitive and very caring. At the age of 3, I saw World Vision a couple days in a row, and I went next door to the post office. And I gave the mail lady my soother, and I told her to mail it to the poor babies in Africa. And I came home, and I never asked for my soother ever again. I decided then that I wanted to help people. And my 3-year-old brain thought, okay, well, who helps people? Doctors help people. I'm going to be a doctor, and I'm going to go to Africa. And growing up, that was my dream. I didn't have the normal, I'm going to grow up and get married and have children and buy a house dream. I continued to believe that I was going to grow up and I was going to be a doctor and go to Africa and help the poor babies. But I didn't have it easy when I was in grade school. I was picked on a lot, and it really took a toll on my self-esteem and my self-worth. I didn't have a lot of confidence. I came home crying a lot. There were only 18 kids in my graduating class in grade 8, and when you're a child, your whole world revolves around school because that's kind of all you know. You don't really have a good grasp of the big greater world out there. So when I was picked on, it was just really difficult because academically I excelled, but when you don't feel like you're liked and you don't feel like you're worth anything, it really is difficult to see the positives. That was kind of the way grade school was for me until grade 8. At the end of grade 8, I started working at a restaurant, and I started working with girls that were older than me, and they respected me, and they were my friends, and they genuinely cared about me. I had a bunch of big sisters where I was working, and it very much changed the way I saw things and saw myself, and I realized that it didn't really matter what people in the general public thought about me. What mattered was what I thought about myself and what those that loved me thought about me. So when I started high school, I had very much grown and I developed a lot more confidence and better self-esteem. And I think that really was a fantastic thing for me, especially through my teenage years, because I didn't succumb to the peer pressure and some of the problems that some of my other friends did. When I was 19, I went to university for nursing. I decided nursing was a smarter undergrad degree because if I applied to medical school and didn't get in, I'd still have a good career. And I ended up falling in love with nursing, some aspects of it anyways. It really gives you the opportunity to affect people's lives, and you get to deal with people on a very personal level, and I really liked that. However, by the time I was 26, all the while doing prerequisites for med school, I realized that I didn't want to go to med school anymore. And my biggest reason for that was that I didn't really feel like I would be able to do preventative care and preventative medicine, which is what I love and what I'm really passionate about. I want to keep people well. I want to keep them out of the hospitals. I want to give them the most quality years possible with their loved ones. And I was just looking at the system and realizing there wasn't a lot of room for preventative medicine or preventative care. Because of the way our system is set up, doctors have very minimal time to spend with their patients, even family physicians. And really, there is no incentive to do checkups anymore because that's not something that's going to be well worth their time. Ultimately, they would love to be able to help their patients prevent disease, but they have so many people that are already sick that much of their time is spent dealing with chronic diseases. And although we like to recommend lifestyle changes and like to recommend eating better, people are bombarded with advertisements for pills, and so they're of the belief that there's a pill for every ill. And while we can give you medication that will mask your symptoms, it still isn't going to fix your underlying problem. This is dangerous because then people think they're doing fine until something big happens. And then, it's such a shock. Whereas I think that maybe if people were feeling some of the symptoms still, it would give them more incentive to kind of change their behavior and change what they're doing. But very few people actually understand this about medication, so they take their pills and they think they're doing well. And meanwhile, the problems that cause the symptoms are growing and growing. So I kind of struggled after that with what I wanted to do as far as career. I continued to nurse, and I still do love very much what I'm able to do as a nurse. But I started doing some traveling and working in places that really didn't have the human resources to meet their needs. So I got to go to many rural places. I got to see some very neat places and meet some wonderful people. And I'm actually on contract right now in a small rural community in Alberta. I kind of thought about doing a master's or a PhD, but I didn't really see how that would enable me to do the preventive medicine I so loved. I thought about doing an alternative medicine, like doing a naturopath or acupuncture or something like that, but I know what the medical community thinks of alternative therapies, and they aren't generally very supportive of that, so I didn't think I would be effective in that either. Then in June 2014, my brother passed away suddenly. We were mid-move from, me from Ontario and Justin from Alberta, and we had the U-Haul packed and we're on our way to BC when I got the news that Josh had suddenly passed away in an industrial accident. He was 29 years old, and he left behind a wife and 2 children. His daughter was 3 and my nephew was 2, so Ava understood that Daddy was gone, but Boston didn't, and I don't even know if he'll remember him. So my world kind of came crashing down. We threw everything in the apartment when we got to BC and immediately flew home to Ontario to be with my family. And that's where I spent the month of July, trying to help everybody and be strong and sort out a completely senseless tragedy and figure out what we were going to do moving forward. After being home for a month, I realized I needed to go back to BC and start my life with Justin there, as he had been there working for a couple of weeks, and I really needed to get moved in and settled. So I flew back to BC. It was extremely difficult, though, because I think that's when my own grieving really started, and I was able to kind of take stock of what had happened. And my biggest problem and my biggest worry was that I wasn't the positive, happy-go-lucky person that I'd always been, and I was having a really hard time seeing problems in terms of solutions, which was the way I'd always been. I didn't like bitching about something just for the sake of complaining. I like to have a solution, and I was having a really hard time seeing the world in a positive light and seeing solutions, because my biggest problem was that my brother was gone, and there was no solution for that. The hard things were harder, and the easier things or the positive things were bittersweet, because he wasn't there to share in them. And I really just had no motivation. I wasn't working out. I wasn't eating properly. I really didn't see the need to leave the house most days because I didn't know anybody, and Justin was working all day, every day. Finally, after a few weeks of this, I realized I really had to pull myself out of the slump and start living the life that I wanted, and a life that Josh would be proud of. I got to hear a lot from people about who Josh was to them and what kind of a person he was to them. And I was determined that I was going to take the best qualities that he embodied and make them a part of my life. One of Josh's best qualities was that he really saw the best in everyone, and he really cheered for the underdogs. It didn't matter who you were or what you did. He wanted to treat you with the same respect. And I really wanted to make that a huge part of my life. I decided to take a contract in Bella Bella, BC, the beginning of September, and I knew I was flying into a remote place with a lot of rain and likely no gym, and I knew I was going to need to get back into my workouts and my healthy eating, but that I probably couldn't do it alone. So I bought a Beachbody program off a friend of mine who was coaching, and I saw the wonderful opportunity that coaching would present to me, because a big part of it is really working on yourself and growing, and I thought, what a better there couldn't be a better way for me to pull myself up and out of the slump and really start living the life that I wanted to live. So I started with T25 in September, and I haven't looked back since. I've done 3 programs, and I've been doing this for 5 months now, and I can tell you it was the best decision that I made in 2014. From a personal perspective, I think I've grown more in the last 5 months than I probably did in the 5 years previous. I've become somebody that I feel that I can be proud of, and I think my brother would be proud of. I'm able to do the preventative medicine that I so love and that I'm so passionate about, and I'm really able to help people stay healthy and live the lives that they truly want to live. And there is something so amazingly rewarding and fulfilling about seeing somebody who never thought that they could get through a program, not only get through it, but do extremely well at it, and not only change physically, but change mentally, and just become such a different person through the Beachbody community and the support that they receive through my accountability groups. Coaching has allowed me to stay home more because I can work from home. I can work from anywhere. A lot of what I do is online. It has helped me stay accountable for my own workouts. So I'm in the best shape of my life. I gained about 17 pounds over the summer when Josh died, and I am down about 25 pounds now. So I'm the leanest I've been in many years. I feel fantastic both mentally and physically, and I have my positive, happy-go-lucky outlook on life back. Coaching has allowed me to meet and make so many new friends. I can't even tell you how fantastic the Beachbody community is. There are so many positive, motivational, uplifting, inspiring people in this community, people that have overcome insane odds and insane, just devastating tragedies and obstacles, and have come out stronger and better and just amazing people for it. Beachbody is allowing me to grow a home business that is extremely successful. I am meeting my goals that I had set for June of this year now, and it's January. From a financial perspective, I can't say enough about the potential to make money in this business. I'm at a point now where I'm paying my mortgage payments almost entirely with Beachbody money, and that wasn't something that I thought I would be doing 5 months into this. I feel like such a better person for having started coaching, and I know that I am leading a life that my brother would be proud of, and that I'm leaving a legacy for him that he would be proud of, because I'm really able to help out the people that really need the support and accountability, and they don't get that at home, and they don't have people always cheering them on. And to be able to be that person for them and watch them blow their goals out of the water is amazing. So if you're a person that loves health and fitness and wants to help others get in shape, or if you're a person that just really needs a change and you're trying to figure out who you are and you're trying to grow as a person, or if you're a person that wants to build a home business and work from home or stay home with your children, then this opportunity is perfect for you. If you're interested in learning more, please apply and fill out my coach application, or you can contact me on Facebook, and I can talk with you more about your goals and whether that is something that we can work towards together. Thanks for watching, everyone. Have a fantastic day.